Welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to the NBA Bet. We've had a couple of days off. And I got to tell you, I'm losing my mind. It's just too much vacation time. I forgot that I typically, like the last 3 All-Star breaks, I have gone to the All-Star game. And so what I forgot that I, like, normally it's just a couple of days off because I've been traveling and doing content and stuff. And this year, I've just shut it down since Friday. So we're shaking a little bit. We need to get the juices flowing. But we are back. Let me fix the camera a little bit. Down bad a little bit after some 40-plus hoops last night. We took an L after stringing together 3 Ws. We took a big L last night. And I got to tell you, we'll start with this story. We were cooking. All right. We finally had a good shooting night. We knocked down like 6 triples, and I would have walked away with the loss feeling okay. Like, at least the shot was falling. It was a really big team. I had to cover dudes that were like, at least they were all 6 feet, like 200. Like, it was just big bodies. But what ended up the lasting memory is not me knocking down all these triples. I got cooked, and thankfully the dude missed the layup, but I got cooked in a way that I will remember for a while because it was a bigger dude. Doesn't look agile. Doesn't look, not a lot of mobility and agility. And he got me at the top of the key, and it wasn't an ankle breaker, not one of those times where you like, oh, you fall down or anything like that. But it was like a ghost. It was like I'm trying to think of like the best analogy of this, but I was just standing still as the guy went by me. I don't even think I had time to turn around. I just was standing there guarding nobody. I was just guarding nobody. It was a tough scene. But thankfully I missed the layup. I gave him a hug afterwards. I said, thanks, because they were recording the game. I don't need that video evidence, so he smoked the layup. Speaking of smoking things, Matic Otto's in the chat. Good to see you. Who else we got here? We got Bodivine. Yeah, we're going to talk some KD stuff. Common Man, happy birthday to Jaime Jaquez, the junior, the true Triple J, and KCP. Look at the little bro out there becoming a YouTube member. You'd love to see it. Thanks, Jake. There we go, Boston base. Good to see you. Patty Coin up in here. Oldham's here. We got DJP. Let's go. We got the regulator. Good to see the triple-double coke. We're going to start with that, I think. We got Milo here. Galactic. Yeah, Matty Harrison. It was a controller. Disconnect. That's what it was. I just was stuck. Oh, man, it was brutal. And we were getting cooked at that point, so it was fine. I think we spotted them a 20-3 start and then ended up losing by like 13, I think. So like we hung out. We like hung around, All right, this is what we're going to do today. So Underdog released the dance, some playoff best ball, so we'll do that the second half of the show. That was probably the worst part of the All-Star break for me is I was on a heater, man, right? We qualified for the Dog Bowl. The very next day, we luck boxed into some Ousmane Dieng and won like a couple grand there. We were just cruising. And the gods were turning the heater off on us. So but anyways, they released the best ball contest, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Bagel with Locks, if you're not subscribed to that, that'll come back tomorrow. I'm also going to do a separate post about this, I think on Friday or over the weekend, just kind of outlining some best ball stuff. So we'll do that at the second half of the show. We're also going to just kind of focus on a couple of teams that I've got my antennas up on here for the second half of the season because, each team has like 26, 28 games left. But more importantly, what we're going to do is talk about this Kevin Durant stuff. And I wasn't going to do too much on it. And then last night I saw this. And I don't know if maybe I'm just too terminally online. Did you guys see this? They created, and I'll share the link in the chat. They created a website, the KD Files. Like, we're getting more information on Kevin Durant's leaks than we are on Epstein. Am I right? Okay, I'm dropping the link into the chat right now. They got this broken down, case by case. And I know I saw Trey, former host of or co-host of Hoop Sense. our guy Trey was saying if you believe this, I've got some slices of soap. I'll sell you for and call it an 8 ball or something like that. So I think people close to Kevin, because he has a relationship with Kevin. People close to Kevin are saying this is all garbage, right? That it's a hoax. It is kind of bizarre here that and for those that don't know, for those that actually got outside, touched some grass over the weekend, basically what happened is right before the All-Star game, a bunch of like screenshots of an alleged group DM with KD, like a group chat essentially, was shared in the internet, and it's basically KD just a habitual shit talker. That's what he's out there doing, and unfortunately, it's just like all of his teammates and stuff. And then of course, this might have been what he was going to do regardless. But of course, because we have this information right before the All-Star game happens, everybody's like psychoanalyzing every single moment that happens. So whether it's like, him looking at his phone coming out of the locker room, the close-up on the introduction, right? All that's, everybody's just kind of going nuts about it. But I think one of like the crazier things about it is that, or not crazier, but one of the things that's making me think maybe there's some smoke. First of all, there's a ton of smoke, so there has to be some fire there, right? The other thing, I mean, KD loves to tweet, right? And if there was ever a time to tweet, it's when you don't have basketball games. And he has not tweeted since Sunday before the leaks happened. So I don't know, man. And I was trying to think, if I was in his situation, what would I do? I feel like you got to address it at some point, but to just not tweet, to like aggressively change. I think if it was me and I did do it, I would just keep tweeting through it. I would just keep going. I would just treat it like I was a Republican governor in the middle of a gay sex scandal, where I would just continue to aggressively talk about a bunch of other stuff and just not address it until something else horrific happened in the world, and then we'd all focus on that, right? That is how I would approach it. But to just not talk about it at all, or not tweet at all, is just kind of nuts. But anyways, this website, the KD Files, is crazy. So they've just uploaded a bunch of different examples of what happened. So why don't let's pop into some of these, and we can start with some of his. This is allegedly from a DM leak. All right, a DM leak. Here we go. This is about his teammate Şengün. I'm gonna turn the ball over with this shitty ass team. I don't give a fuck. Your franchise player can't shoot or defend. That's a way bigger issue than my turnovers. Remember, these guys are your future. And then here's another one. Coach called that play to pass to Alpi Şengün. Like I don't know, man. I don't. Like, this is kind of nuts for it to be all your teammates here, to be talking about your teammates in this one. And this is going to be a natural transition into what we're going to talk about teams on the second half that I've got my antennas up, because I do think I was a little bit concerned about Houston anyways. But here's one about Jabari. Oh, we don't want to share that one, but he's just trashing Jabari here. Said I can't trust Jabari to make an effing shot or get a stop. He's low-key blank. It's this, and like Jabari, for those that don't know, Jabari Smith Jr. has like come out and said early, he's like, KD's my hero. I can't believe I'm playing ball next to KD. And again, all of this could be nothing. This could absolutely be nothing. But it's just weird that it hasn't been addressed whatsoever yet. Let's find another one here. We could find, here we got one on Ben Simmons. I swear I miss Ben Simmons. Least he would give me the ball. And I think that's also making fun of him for not shooting, right? And then this was about Devin Booker and Frank Vogel, his time as Phoenix. He called them two dictators, Stalin and Hitler, Mussolini and Kim Jong-un. I think what's interesting about this analogy here, he's Stalin and Hitler, two contemporaries, right, of their time. Mussolini and then Kim Jong-un. He couldn't find a fourth one. So he went more present day with Mussolini, which I think is an interesting combo there. So okay, sure. We got Kawhi Leonard. We're just saying calling Kawhi funny. Kyrie and Luka talking about. He said, I miss James Harden, slightly delusional, but I understand him. So this is, again, another DM leak. On an unnamed Rockets staff member, I really don't like this white man. This man don't respect my game at all. The Russell Westbrook one was crazy. He said, I wouldn't say Kai was competing with me, but that light skin, referring to Steph, and that triple-double cocaine bear Russell Westbrook was. And this is where I want to say I think it's real. Because I don't trust. I think we know Kevin Durant is funny. We've seen KD is always online. KD's got a good sense of humor. I feel like we've seen him cook people in tweets before. This feels like if it's not him, I want to credit whoever wrote this. Triple-double cocaine bear is crazy business. That's just an A+ joke. Why bear the cocaine? Do you not know? Are you unfamiliar with the Cocaine Bear movie? I think that's what he was doing there, was referencing the Cocaine Bear movie. But triple-double cocaine bear, just crazy business there. What else do we have? After we just did Steph and Russ. This is since he's saying since MJ punched Kerr in the face, he doesn't mess with dark skins anymore. This is KD referring to Steve Kerr. Just crazy. Any word about Jokic turnovers? There we go. Talking about LeBron and Shannon Sharp. He called the Houston Rockets, his teammates, allegedly crayon eaters. I mean, this is just nuts here. Let's see. Anything else we've got that we got to hit? We got some Drake versus Kendrick stuff, some CP3 stuff, some Aaron Rodgers stuff, and that's really it. And I just wonder, do you guys think he actually addresses this at any point, or does this just get put aside? Also, just creating a website called the KD Files is nuts. And I imagine it gets updated as we get more information. Just crazy. Can't have any normalcy. So we had that happen over in the All-Star break. And then the Jason Tatum stuff. It really does feel, as we start to pivot to actual basketball. I know it's been talked about at length now. So like halfway through the All-Star game, which I'm not going to do a full All-Star game recap. I'll just say I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. The dunk contest still sucks. Three-point contest still fun. Old people shooting is fun. The All-Star game format, fun. I liked all of it. But the Tatum, right between like the third and fourth game, Jason Tatum and like NBC announced basically like a week-long documentary that they're going to do on Tatum's return. And it does, like, we, at some point, guys, and I know, this is the pot calling the kettle black here because all I do is make content. Not everything has to be content. The fact that they turned the cameras on the second his ACL was torn, not his ACL, his Achilles was torn, is nuts. And I guess it's not surprising in this day and age, but to just have this propaganda, and I'm a Celtics fan, this is just propaganda ready to go is crazy. I love that Tatum's like, yeah, I have some concern, like assimilating back into my role here with the Celtics team that's been doing so well. But here, let's turn the attention on me for a second while we drop this doc. Anyways, they also announced basically at the same time that there was a game Sunday, March 1st. The 76ers are at the Garden playing the Celtics, and they moved that game from a 6 p.m. start to an 8 p.m. start, and they moved it from a regional broadcast to NBC. So it does feel like, and this isn't surprising. I know we had that Chris Haynes report a couple weeks ago where it's like, oh, yeah, Tatum hasn't made his decision yet. And then Ramona Shelburne went on to ESPN last night or 2 days ago and was like, there's actually still some doubt whether Tatum's coming back. Like, he doesn't know yet. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And I'm beginning to think this is the Celtics version of what Shams did with Giannis and the Bucks, where it's like, hey, let's just throw some shit against the wall so people keep tuning in. We get some good clicks, right? Some good clicks, some viral hits. Tatum's coming back. The two things, like, you don't drop a documentary, a week-long documentary, and then not come back. You just don't do that. Otherwise, you would do it in the offseason. We know he's coming back. They also don't trade Anthony Simons if they don't think Tatum's coming back, too. So I think those two things indicate he's coming back. He'll be back in the next couple of weeks. So anyways, you're saying ticket prices are going nutty. I know, man. I know. I think he's going to be back, and that really shakes up the Eastern Conference. So let's look at the standings here. We looked at some of the like the tougher schedules. We'll do that as well. But if we look at the standings going in the second half of the year, right? All of these teams have somewhere between like 26 and I think 28 games left. Let me pull up Tankathon as well on my end. You're not going to see this yet. But yeah, you see right here, the Pistons at 5.5 game lead. You know what like quietly happened right before the All-Star break? And you know what? Let's do the drop. Let's do the drop for our boys.
Detroit basketball! Detroit basketball!
All right, Detroit here, best record in the league. Not just the Eastern Conference. They surpassed the Oklahoma City Thunder. Best team in the league right now. 5.5 game lead, 40-13. But I think they're going to be the 1 seed. Unless like Cade and Durant get in a fight together and get suspended for the rest of the year, they're going to be the 1 seed. That's too much of a gap. There's like 28 games left. You're not going to make up 5.5 games. This team has lost, I think they've lost 2 consecutive games twice this year. Never have lost more than 2 games in a row. Celtics in the 2 seed, 5.5 games back. But the Celtics have, I believe, the 5th hardest schedule the rest of the way. The 5th hardest schedule the rest of the way. The Knicks are right behind them, just a half game behind. They're game back in the loss column, but 35-20. The Cavs are a game behind them, just a game and a half out of the 2 seed, right? Cleveland, sky is falling. All of a sudden, 9-1 in their last 10. Actually, if you just look at the top 4 teams, you've got the Pistons are 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. Celtics 7-3 in their last 10. Knicks 8-2 in their last 10. And then the Cavs on a 5-game winning streak coming out of the break, 9-1 in their last 10. They just get James Harden. Evan Mobley should be back soon. And then you look, out of all of the teams left, the Cavs have the 26th hardest schedule the rest of the way, or we could rephrase it, the 5th easiest schedule the rest of the way. They've got 2 left against the Nets, 2 left against the Mavs, a game against the Jazz, Pacers, Pels, and Wiz. The Cavs are going to be the 2 seed. The Cavs are absolutely going to be the 2 seed here, which kind of sets up nice for something we'll talk about in a little bit when we do some best ball stuff. And then you've got the Raptors and the Sixers right there. I think these are going to be our top 6. I think Orlando, and we can kind of pivot to Orlando right now. The Magic here are in the play-in right now as the 7th seed. They're a game and a half behind the Sixers, just a half game ahead of the Heat and 3 ahead of the Hornets. And Orlando has to fire their coach. Like, this is it. They have to. They have to shake stuff up right now. And maybe they give them a week out of the break, because I think the Magic are kind of middle of the road. They have the 19th easiest schedule here the rest of the way. And if we look at, not the 19th most difficult, excuse me. If we look at their upcoming games, right? And maybe they can string together some W's. But they are at Sacramento, so they're going to start on a 4-game West Coast trip. At Sacramento, that should be a dub. Then it's at Phoenix, at the Clippers, who I don't think are going to have Garland back for this one. And then at the Lakers. And then you follow that with Houston and Detroit. All right. Now, if the Magic organization really wants to fire Jamal Mosley, it'll probably be after this run, because assuming this looks like 2-4 to me. You know, maybe they were able to beat the Rockets. I think they're going to lose to the Pistons. That looks like 2-4. So if they do want to fire him, it's going to happen after this 6-game stretch. If they don't want to fire him, they'll wait until Washington and Dallas, and then like Milwaukee. But this is, they have a tough stretch right now. And I think if we go back to the standings, and I mentioned like Charlotte's only 3 games back, right? Charlotte's only 3 games back. And the regulator mentioning the Heat have an easy schedule too. Although the Heat have an easy schedule, but also lost to the freaking the Jazz before the break, who we know just got fined $500,000 for trying to lose games, and that's who Miami lost to. But if you look at Charlotte's upcoming schedule, and if the Magic kind of stumble a little out the gate here, I'm trying to talk myself into Charlotte catching the 7 seed. or at least the 8 seed. But their upcoming schedule, and again, been like one of the best teams in the last like 3 or 4 weeks. So this is a brutal start here with Houston and Cleveland on Thursday and Friday. But then at Washington, at Chicago, at Indiana, home against Portland, home against Dallas. I mean, that is 5-2 if they want it. That's 5-2 if they want it. And then it's Boston, Miami, Phoenix, Portland, Sacramento. Like, Charlotte can legit make some moves here and put some real pressure on both Miami in front of them and excuse me, oh my god, and Orlando. And the reason I'm really excited about this is, listen, I don't think the Charlotte Hornets can beat the Detroit Pistons in a 7-game series. I do think they could beat almost, or not that they would not be favored, obviously. But if you told me Charlotte got Cleveland in the first round in a 2-7 matchup, I'm listening, because it's James Harden in the playoffs. Yes, Cleveland's hot as hell. We've seen this story before. So you could talk me into Charlotte against Boston. We don't know what Tatum's going to look like. And Boston has played both up and down to its opponents this season. Again, like a great year, but you see them in a 7-game series. I don't know. The Knicks, I don't trust the Knicks. Like, I feel like the East is really up for grabs. And I'm not trying to get too hyped on this, but it's too late. The ship has left. I'm too excited about Charlotte. They're like my favorite last 2 picks in best ball and playoff best ball right now. I'm just into it. I'm into Charlotte. But anyways, Orlando, is a team that I'm really nervous about. And I could see, now granted, Franz Wagner was playing like 20-ish minutes a game after coming back. I don't know. I could see it. I could see it happening. Regulator, like I could see them picking up steam too if Franz is 100%. Regulator was saying Harden and Cade are bad matchups for the Hornets. Yeah, those big guards are pretty tough for them. But I mean, dude, Charlotte has shown that they can hang with anybody. Like even that Detroit that they lost, and I know it's kind of hard to take anything away from it as Detroit lost 2 of their bigs and Charlotte lost both Bridges and Moose in that one. But I don't know. I'm talking myself into it. When will you be talking about the Bucks? I mean, the big question about Milwaukee is if they lean into the tank or not. I know Giannis, after his rehabilitation program of All-Star Game weekend, where we had to do 55 different cutaways, being like, "Oh, look at Giannis with his glasses, talking to the referees, having some." You guys don't have to be mad about Giannis. I know he's with Kalshi and with Chelsea, and I know he was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna leave," but look at him with his kids. We love Giannis. So I don't know if the Greek Freak decides he wants to come back, Milwaukee could absolutely make a run here at the play-in, but it doesn't make sense for them to do that. If Giannis is legit saying, like, I want to stay in Milwaukee and I want to compete for championships, they need to not be good. They need to get an asset here, whether to move off of said asset to get another player who can help them win right now, or they get lucky with the ping pong balls and they get a top 3 pick that could help them win right now. No reason for the Bucks to lose. They'll get 10 to 18 picks. Yeah, but no, don't they have the worst? They have the worst pick of New Orleans. Excuse me. It's like, no, they don't have an incentive to win. I actually think that's wrong. Hold on. Let me pull up. This is from Tom Ziller's Good Morning, It's Basketball. Bucks are 23-30. He put them in the potential play-in. He said, unless they get caught by the storm. Oh, this is. We should all cheer on the Bucks. They have an incentive to tank out and land the best pick they can in a rare year in which they control their draft to a certain degree. There's a swap involving New Orleans and Atlanta that still makes it advantageous for the Bucks to be bad, but they are not doing it because the front office apparently believes they can convince Giannis to hold off on a trade request and perhaps sign another extension this summer. Giannis has been more wishy-washy than ever about his future, but the Bucks made some marginal roster moves to improve the team and signed Cam Thomas. So anyway, I don't think they have incentive to win. So they basically have their own pick, right? So there's no reason for the Bucks to win, right? When we go the other way on that. But anyways, that's Milwaukee. That's too much on Milwaukee already. Let's do the West. And I think the West is like sneaky kind of up for grabs right now. So OKC, I'm assuming SGA's back in the next couple of games. Like I don't think he's going to miss too much time, right? He might even be back for that very first game. OKC is still like, even though it feels like they've been stumbling a little bit right after that hot start, I think they're like 19-13 after their crazy start. Still the 1 seed, but it's only a 3-game gap here with the San Antonio Spurs, who have won 6 in a row heading into the break, 8-2 in their last 10. OKC has the second hardest schedule the rest of the way behind Denver. Those are the two: Denver, OKC, and Minnesota. The three toughest schedules the rest of the way. And Denver and OKC play, and the reason it's so hard, they play each other 3 more times. They also play the Spurs 3 more times. But interestingly enough, San Antonio, they have the 10th hardest schedule the rest of the way. They got 3 against Denver. Although, why is it not showing OKC? That feels like it's. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They don't have. They've got 3 against Denver, not the Spurs. Excuse me, not the Thunder. They got 3 against Denver, 2 against the Pistons, 1 against the Celtics, and then Knicks, Rockets, Toronto. And it's only making up 3 games. I feel like there's an outside shot here that they could sneak up and grab that 1 seed. I don't think that's out of control. I don't think that's a crazy take. I think San Antonio legit could catch OKC. And what's good about that is I think there's an advantage here to being the one. Well, obviously, there's an advantage, but imagine if San Antonio is able to snag the 1 seed, they basically avoid Denver and OKC until the Western Conference Finals, because they'd play the 8 seed in the first round, and then assuming Denver and San Antonio both get, Denver and OKC both get round 1 series wins, you would see Denver and OKC play each other in the second round. Regulator said Bucks can't get a franchise player in this draft. Well, good news for the Bucks. They have a franchise player. What do you mean they can't? They can't get a top 3 pick? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it's a great movie, Boston Base. I saw it when it came out. Shout out Palm Springs. That's really good. I don't know. Regulator is saying separate things here, where they basically have their own pick. There's no reason for the Bucks to lose. And now in one of the best draft classes we've seen in a long time, you're saying they can't get a franchise player? Can they not get a top 3 pick? I'm confused. All right, let's keep going. So the West, though, gets kind of funky after this, right? Because Houston is a little bit of a mess here. They are 33-20, still 13 games over 500. But since the Steven Adams injury, have been a little funky here. Okay, they've been a little bit funky. The Kevin Durant stuff is weird. Now, Houston has a pretty light schedule the rest of the way. They've got 29 games left. They have the 25th most challenging schedule. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm overrating the most recency vibe. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Houston, but I don't really trust it. The Lakers, Minnesota, if their schedule wasn't so hard, because they wrote, right, what did we say? They had the 3rd hardest schedule the rest of the way. I feel like Minnesota could catch the Lakers and the Rockets, and I think they can position themselves in a 4 seed. I don't think it matters if they are 4 or 5. I don't think it does. Whether they're home, I don't think home court matters that much there. But I think Minnesota is my favorite long shot bet of the Western Conference. I think it's my favorite one. I really like that they traded for Ayo Dosunmu. I think if the Houston Rockets did that, I'd be higher on Houston. But it was so clear to me that Houston needed to freaking make a move at the deadline, and they didn't. They sat on it. And now I think Minnesota's going to leapfrog. Honestly, I think they're going to leapfrog both the Lakers and the Rockets. They'll find themselves in a 4 seed. And then anything can happen there, especially if San Antonio's the 1 seed. Then Minnesota gets to avoid Denver and OKC as well by being the 4. So there's weird value here, depending on how the 1 seed shakes out in finding the 4-5 versus the 2-3. And then in the play-in, I'm not scared of anybody in the play-in. You've got Steph Curry, who allegedly is going to be back here coming. Their first game, I believe, is against the Celtics on Thursday night. It sounds like Porzingis might be back for Golden State. Who knows for how long, but it sounds like he's going to be back. You have Phoenix down there, who they're slowly bringing Jalen Green back. Devin Booker looked good in the All-Star game and in the three-point contest. And then you have Portland and the Clippers. The Clippers who have they traded away all their good guys in Harden and Zubats. You have Portland, who 2 games under 500. And let me see Portland's schedule. I feel like Portland could catch Golden State and Phoenix if Golden State can't stay healthy. Portland has the easiest schedule the rest of the way. So they still have 3 games against Denver, which sucks. But then and 1 against the Spurs, 2 against Timberwolves. But then 1 against the Kings, 1 against the Wiz, 2 against the Pacers, 2 against the Nets, 1 against the Jazz. I feel like Portland could sneaky get up to that 7-8. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you, Gabriel. I think the Suns are either 7 or 6. I could see the Rockets like really slipping, and if that happens, even the Lakers too. I could see the Lakers slipping. I don't think they will, but I could see it. And the Suns only a game and a half out of that 6 seed, 2 games out of the 4 seed right now. So I could see Phoenix catching them, and I could see Portland catching them too. DJP, were you here for didn't we just do the East? Didn't we just do that? Maybe not. Yeah. Anyway, so I think I think Portland has a chance of catching that 7-8 spot. Maybe not the 7 spot, but catching the Warriors if the Warriors can't stay healthy. But it feels like the West is just going to be between those 3 teams of OKC, San Antonio, and Denver if Denver stays healthy and if J-Dub gets back. But I could see Minnesota catching them. Yeah, I mean, I think that what we were talking about with the East, if you want to go back to that for a second, I mean, I thought I was clear on that. Pistons by far are going to be the 1 seed. I think Cleveland is going to end up being the 2 seed. But I think 2 through 4 are all the same. I do. I think Cleveland, Boston, and New York are all kind of the same here. I think Cleveland finishes 2. My guess would be Knicks 3, Celtics 4. I think seeing Tatum come back, like there's a lot of question marks. How many minutes is he going to be able to play? How effective is he going to be? How confident in his body is he going to be? And are they going to use him sparingly in the regular season to ramp him up for the postseason? So then all of a sudden he's playing full minutes? I don't know. But I think 2, 3, 4 are the same there. I don't see the Raptors or the Sixers catching any of the 2, 3. So I do think this is going to be your 1 through 4. And honestly, I think this is your 5, 6, whether it's Philly catching Toronto, like, I don't know. I think this is top 6 in some form. I don't see the Magic going on a run. I do think Charlotte could catch the 7 seed. I think making up 4.5 games in just like 28 games or whatever it is a little too, I think that's too hefty. But I think if I had to bet on it right now, I would say it goes Detroit, Cleveland, New York, Boston, Toronto, Philly. And then I think I'd go Miami, Charlotte, Orlando, Atlanta. That's going to be your top 10. I don't think the Bucks bring Giannis back. I don't think the Bulls do anything. And then, but I think it's a free-for-all in the East. I think it is a free-for-all. I think Detroit, if I had to bet right now, what team in the East gets out? It's Detroit, just because defense travels, right? They have been consistent all season long. I think Detroit has the cleanest path there. They're going to get, the worst of Orlando, Miami, Charlotte, and Atlanta in the first round. And then in the second round will obviously be a really tough matchup for them, no matter who it is. And the Knicks are interesting just because it feels like they haven't been playing great, but have been still right there with them, So, and then Boston is the biggest wild card. So is Cleveland. Like, does James Harden in the playoffs actually show up? I don't know. I don't really know. But I think I'd rank them. I would rank them Detroit. I feel like Charlotte out of the play-in, and then one of Orlando and Miami. So that's kind of where I land on that. Like, again, I don't really. Atlanta is weird because, and I know they're 5-5 in their last 10, but Atlanta has been a team that's like, I was talking with Magic Carp about this yesterday. Like, Jalen Johnson has been so good that it almost tricks us into thinking Atlanta's been better than they've been. But I mean, they're under 500. So I think it's like exciting to watch Jalen Johnson. But I just don't see them getting out of the play-in. I mean, it's a 1 or 2 game series basically to get themselves out into the first round. But I don't trust Orlando. I mean, Orlando, maybe if they figure it out, would be dangerous in the first round against a Detroit or whoever is the 2 seed. You could make a case like, holy shit, they finally, like, they have Anthony Black coming back off the bench. They're running out Paolo, Bane, Suggs, Franz, Wendell Carter Jr. That's like a pretty strong 6 if offensively and defensively they pick it up. 2/3 of the way into the season, we haven't seen shit from them. So it's hard to believe in them. Miami just doesn't have enough talent. Like, I don't trust Miami given anybody. I would take Miami over Atlantis as regulator. Who's the best player in that series? It's Jalen Johnson for sure. Jalen Johnson for sure. But I don't think. I think Charlotte's the only team that could give hell to a 2 seed. Even Detroit. I think Detroit wins in 5, but I don't think Detroit would be pumped to play Charlotte. And I'm telling you right now, if it's like Boston Charlotte, Cleveland Charlotte, Knicks Charlotte, it's a 7-game series. I am like full Charlotte pilled at this point. I like legit I think they could go full Jimmy Butler Miami Heat. I do. They got the bones there, man. They do. Would rather play Pistons than the Cavs to be. I wouldn't. I'm like, I told you guys this. If everybody's overreacting to regular season James Harden, God bless you, man. God bless you. God bless you. I'm not doing it. And I think they're gonna rip off more W. Again, they are gonna be the 2 seed. They're gonna be the 2 seed. They've got the one of the easier schedules the rest of the way, but I'm not doing it. Let's you guys down to pop into some double dribble stuff here? We'll call it Dog Bowl. We'll call it the Dog Bowl just because. Let's bang. Yeah, let's jump in here. Which, by the way, for those that forget, we qualified for the Dog Bowl. How sick is that? So they let me quickly explain the dance to you guys, and then we can jump into it. We've done a couple of these. So the dance. So this is playoff best ball here. Let me zoom in. We get some playoff best ball here. And the way this works, right? You get put in a 6-person pod. It's like a 6-person draft. And it goes round by round. So at the end of each round, we have some advancing here. I'm going to click all rules just so we can see what the advanced structure looks like. But the key to this is kind of drafting, drafting teams that you think can advance here, right? So we got a 6-person group in round 1, 10-person group in round 2, 6-person group in round 3, and then the final round, we got 310 people in it. It does not include the play-in games. That's a good reminder. So you're doing some guesswork here. So at the end of round 1, the top 2 performing entries in each group will advance to round 2. So you're going to finish in the top 2 of 6, but then it's just the top 1 in round 2. And then in round 3, the top 1, round 4. Prize pool is so $50K up top, which is pretty fun. So let's go back to this, and let's just jump into one, and we can talk through some of it as we go. This is my 14th one, I believe. And I've been having a lot of fun. It's a $10 entry, $50K up top. We're drafted from the 4-hole here. And I've been using some of the, that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to dig deep into the standings here. Is because I think a team like the Charlotte Hornets aren't really being drafted right now. And if you think they can get out of the play-in, that's pretty fun. Oh, yeah, Sanjay Rich, we went over the KDF files. We did the KDF files for the first 10 or 15 minutes. So go jump in there. Jump into the KDF files. And then just a reminder here, what we got going on the rest of the week. So tomorrow, we'll have the NBA bit. We will also have Live Before Lock tomorrow. Because it's a special lock on So Rare. It's Thursday through Sunday. We have another Dog Bowl qualifier on Friday. We're going to go try to punch our second ticket to that one so that we get 10 of the 120 entries. So Bagel with Locks will return tomorrow. I'll have something for you over the weekend on Bagel with Locks 2 regarding best ball, and we'll go from there. How many picks is this? This is 10 picks. You get 10 drafts. So the key is you got to build out who you think is going to the championship, right? So Volume takes Jokic 1. He's going to try to build a Denver stack. Oh, Boston base is in here. So Boston base, you want to try to build a Thunder stack here. I will take either Wemby or Cade with my first pick. It'll be Cade. This is actually my first share of Cade, I think, through 10 or 13. And then I don't know what I'm going to do on 9. But you'll see, I have Şengün ranked pretty low. I've been pretty light gooning. Pretty light on the goons. But yeah, NBA bit will be back tomorrow, I think. We should do the NBA bit. And then Friday will just be the bit because we'll have Live Before Lock on Thursday. And then we're getting to the home stretch, baby. Stuff's about to get spicy. I don't think it'll happen, but I would love for Anthony Edwards to fall to pick 9. That would be fun. Won't happen. He went Ant and Luka. Interesting. All right, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna pair up with Cade? Cooking with Cade. I really haven't been doing any Rockets, so I don't really know what to do here. Legit might take Spida. Or maybe we just force a Duran. Maybe we just force a Duran early. I don't know. Let's see what Cold Rod takes Goon, huh? You know what? Let's get a little let's get funky. Let's take some Donovan Mitchell. Let's take some Spida. And then let's just see what happens. Let's get a little funky with it. I don't want to take Castle there because, again, I'm trying to build paths to championships. And with Wemby already off the board, like I don't want a one-off Castle, you know? Because, again, we got to get through. It goes round by round, right? So if I get to round 3, I'm going to be going in the Spurs are in the Western Conference Finals. I don't know if I want a one-off Castle there. Well, we're going to try to do the stack. We tried to push Duran. We're going to see if we can get Duran at 16. If we can't get Duran at 16, we'll probably take Harden. But yeah, we were trying to push him. I don't know what Dolan's doing. Boston Pace takes KD there. So let's see if it works because this guy has 2 bigs. Trenton, I don't know if Trenton's going to go 3 big deep here. But what we could do is get Jalen Duran there. I also want to pull up Harden and Mobley because we're going to try to get 3 Cavs. Now, it might seem dumb, right, to build 2 Eastern Conference stacks, but and if I think they're going to go 1-2, right? Fuck, he started 3 bigs, man. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Trenton. He had Castle there, too. He could just build the... All right, we're just going to take Harden. We're going to take Harden there. Man, I thought we were going to get Duran to fall. That's kind of crazy. All right, but anyways, I think you can build 2 teams in the same conference and then just, it helps you advance in rounds 1 and 2. You hope it gets all the way to the conference finals, right? So if I got Cavs, Pistons, that's pretty fun. But we actually might just do a Cade one-off here. We'll grab Mobley. So now we have a 3-leg Cav. We've got Mitchell, Hart, Mobley. We're going to have to get some wings here, some wangs. And we're going to have to start building out some Western Conference teams. But again, our real hammer is going to be the Cavs. And now we just got to get to the finals. And again, the way this plays out, right, is you have to play scoring-wise. It's 1 guard, 1 wing, 1 big, and then 2 flex spots. So Trenton then went and got Scotty Barnes. So this is kind of the challenge of drafting right now, is you're going to have some teams dead on arrival. Now, what Trenton could do here is try to get like Champagny with Wembanyama or like a Keldon Johnson. And then he could get Brandon Ingram in the second round, on this next round, in the 5th round, to get another Raptor. But it's going to be hard for Trenton to build a good team here. We'll do a second one after this, too. This is a good draft. So I love what Volume's doing here. You got Jokic and Murray, and then when Cat, Maxey, and Bede. Like, Volume's probably going to try to get one of Bridges or OG or somebody like that. But that's a really fun one. Now so this is when I'll take Castle, man. Like, we got Castle's ADP is 14, and we just got him with pick 28. Like, I don't want to do that, but we will. Because if somehow Fox falls, man, I don't know what he's doing. What's up, Alan? Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, I did see that regulator. I saw, who talked about? Was Bill Simmons talked about it on a recent pod, maybe? Where they were saying that maybe that he would sell the Knicks but still control MSG. I don't know. That'd be an expensive purchase, I think, man. Whoo, man, this is kind of. Is Fox really going to fall here? Because now, what's interesting about this is we now have 3 Cavs and 2 Spurs, so I'm glad I didn't take Castle. That wow, we really did get Fox. So the problem we run into is we have 5 guards, 1 big, and no wings. We got to get some wangs here. Now we just want advancing pieces now because we know the Cavs. So we'll take some Miller. We'll take some Con here. We're gonna have to take one of the Spurs wings. Now we could probably push it till the. We'll probably be able to push this pretty late, but we're gonna have to take a Spurs wing or a Cavs wing. But I don't think do the Cavs have any? Who are the Cavs wings? Max Strus, Tomlin, Dean Wade. I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that. You could take some one-offs like an Aaron. Oh no, Aaron Gordon just went. Good. This is a volume shooter with a really, really good draft, man. I don't know if you're watching right now, but good draft. Pritchard goes. I don't know who I like more, Keldon Johnson or Campany here. Kind of the same player. I think I'm going to take Keldon. And that's ahead of ADP, right? But I don't really love the upside on him, but I think we're going to go Miller and Con with our next 2 if they're still there. Yeah, maybe. But he wouldn't sell until after expansion, right? Because when expansion comes, you get the extra like 300 or 6 whatever, however many 100 million you get just for allowing expansion to happen. So he would wait until the expansion went through, get that pay bump and then go from there. Actually, this is going to be the only draft we do since we're getting close. And it's going to start raining here soon if it hasn't already. And I got to get the doggo out. I got to get the doggo. Bandy turned 10 yesterday. I don't know if you guys caught that. Man, a Cade one-off is kind of crazy. Is there any other Pistons we can get? Can we get Asar's gone? Ron Holland? It's going to be a Cade one-off. All right, we need some Wangs. So that's 7, 8. So we got 2 more picks, right? 2 more picks. I'd be very open to Con. I think Bridges is kind of interesting too. Let's just look at some wing availability here. Kawhi, you want just an advanced piece? I think Kawhi's a fine advanced piece. Franz Wagner's a fine advanced piece. I mean, dude, if you think Atlanta can get into the play-in, out of the play-in, Jalen Johnson is like an elite one-off. Denny, you could do some Denny as well. I actually think Denny is. I think I'm going to do Denny. I think we're going to do Denny and Con. We'll take Con first. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Snoop. Although a fish making it to 5 is pretty impressive, right? Although I don't know. I actually don't know if the... No, I don't think the Knicks are more than the Lakers. I don't think so. Probably close, though. I think they're probably valued the second highest. Honestly, I really like this team. I think we're going to go Denny, and then we'll go Con or Kawhi. Like, I'm fine with the one-off here. This is like for a non... I think it's hard to get excited for a non-top 3 pick, although my first draft was maybe my favorite. I had a JB Anthony Edwards one. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Bandy turned 10. Old pup, man. Old puppers. Let's look at Boston Base's team. What's he doing? Boston Base went SGA, J-Dub, then KD, Asar Thompson, I Hart. So you got your 3 Thunder, your 2 Pistons over there. You got some fast PP, another Thunder, Kevin Squirt. All right, Boston Base, I see you out there. I kind of like this, man. If we can... The only problem is I'm going to be cooked in the second round from the wing position. But I don't know. It might be enough scoring from the guards that it might not matter. What did Trenton end up doing? Trenton was wilding. All right, he went Wemby, Chet, Duran, Barnes, Randall. All right, so he's got So far, his first double up here is three Raptors. Three Raptors, two Thunder with Case and Wallace, and then a Jalen Tyson stab. All right. I see you. That's a great question, DJP. Honestly, I'm going to do a bunch of these before rankings come out from ETR, and then I might slow down a little bit. But I did all 150 of these last year. I think I did 150 last year. And I think I advanced like 35% in the first round, but I don't think and then I got one dead team to the finals. So it'll depend. We also are about to advance. Let me actually pull that up. That's the last thing we can do instead of doing another draft. We are about to advance the double dribble, which is the regular season best ball. It was, I think I was barely profitable Boston base. Oh no, that's not true. I was profitable. I was definitely profitable, but I don't think it was like a huge win. All right, so we're gonna do double dribble here. So double dribble ends on Sunday. The regular season ends on Sunday, right? I think we went over the format, but top two teams advance in every. Hold on, let me change the background a little bit. Actually, let's just keep it like this. This was kind of fun. The top two teams advance in every first round pod, and then it's 1 out of 10. I believe in the second round. I think that's right. But anyways, we have 38 of our 150 advancing right now. We also have 14 teams in third place. So we need some of those third place teams to jump up. So it ends on Sunday. So we have games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then all of those teams will advance into new pods. And with 38, this is a great. We're very happy at 25%. Would love to get that up a few more percentage points, but we will take it. I think we've had a good best ball season in the NBA streets, but it's not profitable until we get to round 3. So we got to get out of round 2. What's really fun is when I'm at the Dog Bowl in Los Angeles, right? The Dog Bowl final is on Sunday. I think it's March 8th or March 9th. I can't remember which date that is, but it's that Sunday. So we're going to be playing for $200K for first place. It's also going to be the day that round 2 advances. So that'll be a fun sweat in LA. I don't think we're going to be doing, I don't know, maybe we'll do some fun content out there too, but excited to be out there. Magikarp will be out there, TST, John, Pete Overzet. We're going to have a good time. Kelsey's coming with. I'm excited. But anyways, good to be back after the All-Star break. Good to do some KDF Files stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. Again, the NBA bid at 9. We'll have Live Before Lock at 5. And then we'll just cook, baby. We'll just cook. Hoops is back tomorrow. We can get deep into the weeds. Enjoy the day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We out.